What's up, YouTube? If you are just finding me for the first time today, welcome. It's here we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. My name is Megan. If you like what you see, subscribe to become a part of the family and just come on in and have a seat, all right? If you are a returning subscriber, hey, baby, you already know what it is. Today, I'm coming to y'all with another celebrity natal chart reading, this time on none other than Mr. Jonathon Majors, I believe his last name is. A very popular actor. He's been gaining a lot of traction. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I think it's safe to say that he's become a lot more popular in more recent times. And I am fresh off of seeing Creed 3. So he co-starred in this movie alongside Michael B. Jordan, and his name has just been everywhere. However, it was just reported that he allegedly minked up his girlfriend. Okay, so the man went to jail on a domestic battery or a domestic abuse charge. And I'm going to read a little headline because I really don't have that much knowledge. Like, I don't know exactly what the circumstance was about, but I'm going to read a news clip and then we will proceed to break down his natal chart because I want to see exactly what in his natal chart contributed to these series of events. But there's also been a lot of rumors that have been swirling about in regards to, well, was this true? Is this just an attempt to take another black man that came down? So I want to get down to the bottom of it and see if there are any truth to these allegations. If so, what contributed to these events, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, according to The Guardian, the actor Jonathon Majors has been arrested in New York on charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment. New York City police said Majors, the star of Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp, was involved in a domestic dispute on Saturday with a 30-year-old woman. Police responded at about 11 a.m. to a 911 call inside an apartment in the Chelsea neighborhood in Manhattan. The victim informed the police that she was assaulted. A police spokesperson said officers placed a 33-year-old male into custody without incident. The victim sustained minor injuries to her head, neck, and was removed to an area hospital in stable condition. Majors was no longer in police custody as of Saturday night, police said. A representative for Majors denied any wrongdoing by the actor. He's done nothing wrong, the representative said in an email. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up, of course. So that's the story. And I also, now y'all can take this with a grain of salt, okay? It's not official, but I don't know if this is a rumor. It could be. But they were saying that it started because he was cheating and the girl wanted to see his phone on some Chris Brown type shit. And she took his phone and that nigga said, yeah, you gonna have to catch this 3-piece. You gonna catch it. Ooh, you gonna get it. And now here we are. So, of course, let's just go ahead and address the irony and the fact that he was just in a movie where he played a character who actually served a 20-year bid, and then he was also like a boxer. So now we really, you've branded yourself as this like very violent person. And y'all know actors take on roles that could very closely align with the energy within their natal chart, okay? Your natal chart has paramount influence over the decisions that you make. If you are an actor, it can determine the roles you play. If you are a singer-songwriter, a lot of times it can shape the songs that you choose to sing about, the trajectory of your career, how you want to present yourself, especially when you consider the fact that the sun, which is the more widely known placement, right, in astrology, a lot of times the sun deals with the entertainment industry, what's popular, what people are popular or become popular for. And as it pertains to Mr. Jonathon Majors, who was born on September the 7th, 1989 in Santa Barbara, California, he has his sun at the 15th degree of Virgo conjoined to Mars. He is a Sun-Mars man. Now, what does that mean, you might ask? Well, in astrology, Mars is a planet that does deal with athleticism. The sun can deal with athleticism too, but more so specifically Mars. But it also deals with violence. And if y'all checked out my DV video that I did on like the astrology and the astrological profiles between athletes and, domestic violence, you would know that because of how athletically charged Mars is as a planet, right? Because it does deal with forcefulness and aggression and rigor, things that one needs in order to be a good athlete, right? In order to be a good fighter, a good boxer. It could also make a person very violent. That extra testosterone where, it can make it really hard for a person to not be brutish and bullyish. It's a way of getting off a lot of that pent up frustration. Does it make it correct? No. Is this a justification for it? No. You have to control yourself. But people who have a lot of contact, especially when we talk about like with personal planets and Mars, tend to have a very difficult time with that. Mars deals with our impulsiveness. A lot of Sun Mars individuals do have issues with impulse control. And then when you consider the fact that it's in such a mutable sign like that, I always say mutable signs are very dangerous. One of the most dangerous Mars placements to have is in a mutable sign. So when you join the Sun and Mars together in a mutable sign like Virgo, it could create for a person who is very, all of those things I just said in terms of like very brutish, very aggressive, very forceful, very just almost caveman-like, right? But the thing with Virgo is very controlled. Virgo likes to keep its composure. But like all mutable signs, they have a wild card factor. So these are people who are cool until they not. If fuck around and find out was an aspect, okay, it would be the Sun conjoined to Mars in Virgo. These are people who could come off as very well put together, even unassuming, until you back their asses in a corner, or if anything, kind of triggers something in their brain for whatever reason, they snap. With mutable signs, you don't see the snap coming. You only realize that person snapped after you done got a well-whipped ass, if not worse, okay? Because there are so many lists circulating with serial killers, some of the biggest serial killers of our time. And I would say 90% of that list is a mutable sign, okay? So, if you want to use correlation as causation, we can do that. If not, just leave it where it's at. But Virgo is also a sign that needs control. And specifically when we talk about Mars and Virgo, these are people who are propelled by this desire to fix people in tandem with that just highly neurotic energy. They can be very particular. The Sun conjoined to Mars and Virgo can make a very particular person, somebody who is even difficult, really difficult to be with because of that. Very critical of other people. Little things that other people that may not bother other people may very well bother him and could drive him to the point where he just snaps on somebody. And to even, further my point, he has his Sun squaring his moon in Sagittarius. He's a mutable moon too, America. I can't make this shit up. And Sun square moon, just in terms of being an isolated aspect, could also be very problematic when it comes to a person, in the sense that it can make it very hard for somebody to have healthy relationships, especially as it pertains to like the opposite sex, but just in general, like their personal relationships. These are very conflicted people as is, and that conflict goes deep. A lot of times it's rooted in issues within childhood. The Sun and the Moon are two of the most personal, important luminaries, as they do depict one's childhood experience. The Sun could deal with you as a child, but it could also deal with your father, the masculine influences in your life. The Moon deals with, childhood in a different respect, but more so one's connection with the mother, how you grew up, your family life, your home life. For a man, it could be very reflective of your views on women. And for women, it could be very reflective and super impactful in regards to your views on men. And to have those two planets squaring one another, oftentimes, as an astrologer, this tells me that you grew up in a home life that was very unstable. This could be a person whose parents were not together. If they were together under one roof, They were fighting like cats and dogs. These are people who are very conflicted because they were born from conflict. And specifically as it pertains to this mutable square between his Virgo sun and that Sagittarius moon, it could indicate where he's a person who, honestly, it get hard to be fully aware and understand who you are and what you want and what you need from other people. So it's like they're hardly ever really satisfied. That Sagittarius moon could definitely deal with him dating a white girl. Sagittarius is very indicative of things and people that are different than us, right? A lot of Sagittarians are drawn towards whatever they deem to be exotic. This is why you see a lot of Sagittarius in interracial relationships or dating somebody of a different religion, nationality, creed. It's all about that other factor, right? Or, Sagittarius who may not even discriminate because they'll fuck with some of everybody because the more the merrier. Sagittarius thrives on the most, not the lesser. However, the fact that it's squaring his Virgo sun, that could even be a problem for him because even as he's engaging with all these different people, he's still very much stuck in his ways. So he may be somebody who can run hot and cold. He'll be drawn towards women who he has a hard time controlling and then is mad because he can't control them. You know what I mean? So it's just, or where he has a hard time fully just adapting to, and a person who has a difficult time adjusting, like there's like an adjustment issue all the time, where he could come off one way and then be another way. You know what I'm saying? A person who could kind of do what he wants, because Sagittarius, the lower octave of Sagittarius is being a hypocrite. So even as a Sagittarius moon, intuitively, this could be a man, I feel, who, wants a woman to give him access in a certain way, but he's not willing to do what it takes to be a one-woman man, right? Or whatever the case may be. But he still wants to monitor what you doing, but he gonna do what he want. Don't do what I do what I say, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So this could create just a variety of different issues where he may need a lot of reassurance and could be very insecure. Virgo breeds insecurity, especially with his sun conjoined to his Mars like that. That could be something that has stuck with him throughout his whole life. And as a man, the sun is so important because it deals with your ego. The sun and Mars are two of the most masculine planets. So, if a man's sun and Mars are in fucked up condition, it's a very high probability that, some of these men could be cowards, but some of them could overcompensate. And with that sun-Mars conjunction, the way that overcompensation could take place is, I'm going to beat your ass, bitch, because I want to feel more like a man. And it just is what it is. And I can't control myself. So, I ain't even really got into the meat and potatoes. And the man has a lot of red flags. To be fair, we all possess them. But it's very clear that he is like acting his out. And it's just very little self-restraint in the picture. He's just acting it out full blown. And it is what it is. That sun-moon square in two mutable signs could also make a person very prone to lose their cool, to snap. Because the moon also deals with our emotions as well. These are people who just, it's a lot of chaos. There's no kind of internal peace or rest. And every now and then, or every so often, when they break, they completely lose it. They lose control. They can create a huge mess out of their lives. A lot of Sagittarius moons even have really bad temper problems. So with this squaring his sun, that's the person who could just lose their cool, create a huge mess out their life. And Virgo thrives on cleaning shit up. So now he got to come back and clean up the mess that he made. And that is his life, where he may be somebody who does good for a little while and then loses control, whether it be due to anger or somebody who's just kind of is slacking, on his A game, or, that's that type of energy signature we're dealing with. Now, side note, as it pertains to Creed and him taking on the role as like this boxer, it's also very indicative of his sun Mars conjunction due to, of course, the athletic nature of Mars. So that could deal with a person who may even, find interest in those type of jobs. He himself may have a very strong interest in health, because Virgo is a sign that does deal with health. So these are people who can be into fitness. I've seen a lot of people with this sun Mars conjunction in Virgo be interested in like the medical field, or be like, personal trainers, nutritionists, or maybe that's just something that kind of drives them. And a lot of it is rooted in improvement, self-improvement, always wanting to be better and look better. And once again, because Virgo deals with insecurity, it's a person, this is actually, an aspect that could deal with the man getting buff and going to the gym and deciding to work out more because, he's more like insecure or like self-conscious. Virgo is also the sign of the trainer. So you can look at this as like him, training for this role and it just being something that was very like attractive to him, where he really got into this role as like a boxer and was training and eating right and working out. And that's a space he could really thrive in. I mean, that's on the more positive side, right? And then he also has his son trying to his Neptune. Neptune deals with movies and film. So once again, it makes sense that he would take on a role like this. But as it pertains to old Shorty in the situation that he was just arrested for, if we move on to the condition of his Mercury, because I heard this took place in a car. I could be wrong. Y'all correct me in the comments. Like I said, it wasn't verified in the news article I just read, but a lot of people circulate other stuff on social media. Some of it is true, some of it isn't. So, and Saturn is in Pisces. When Saturn is in Pisces, we got to verify shit before we just buy into it all the way. So you can't just rule anything out completely. However, I will say that with Jonathon's, he has his Mercury at the 9th degree of Libra, and it's fucked up. It's squaring Saturn, which could deal with that could deal with like, I don't know if he has speech problems or something like that, especially with Mercury square Neptune. He may have a problem talking or, with his speech or something, or somebody who could stutter or who had a really hard time in school, like, delayed when it comes to like learning and their focus and shit like that. But it could also even just deal with, like, if we're talking about phones, Mercury rules phones, Mercury and Libra deals with your partner. So that Mercury squaring his Saturn could be like where he do not play about his phone. And he does have his Saturn at the 7th degree. So he could be holding a lot of like secrets and shit too. Even with Mercury square Neptune, that's a telltale sign of a liar as well. But that could also deal with a person who a partner tries to take your phone, confiscate your phone. Or you could have certain shit just in your phone, especially as it pertains to nudes, pictures, text messages. He may also not be a good communicator, too. That Mercury square Neptune can make him the type to just shut down. And that could also make him kind of cruel and sadistic. Like, if you do something he doesn't like, he's going to punish you. He also has Mercury square Chiron at that 14th degree of Cancer. That could also make him, like, really unstable in terms of just however he feels, he's going to act on it. He may say the craziest shit or do the craziest shit or, and it'll be justified just because of what's going on in that moment. Yep, his Mercury square Jupiter at that 6th degree of Cancer as well. That could also even deal with where he felt kind of ostracized from his own race, specifically in school. Mercury deals with grades K through 12. So y'all drop down in the comment section. I mean, like I said, he was with a white woman. So I would not be surprised if it was given like, back then, I was too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. My golly. Oh, brother. The black girls hated me. And then he just kind of went to wherever he was celebrated. Then he has Moon and quincunx to Jupiter. That Sag Moon, quincunx and his Jupiter in Cancer could deal with where a guy could get caught up. That could deal with like an entanglement, getting caught up with women. Him having a bunch of women. A bunch of white women at that. His Jupiter in opposition to Uranus could deal with, a shocking situation that comes out when it comes to him as it pertains to him. And y'all know I be thinking everybody gay. Not gay, but sexuality is a spectrum. I don't think most people, especially if we're talking celebrities and entertainers, are not just 100% biological, just straight and narrow, straight as an arrow. I just don't agree with that. And for what it's worth, my guy has an Aquarius North Node. He has his North Node at the 24th degree of Aquarius. I mean, it could. If you've been on this channel long enough, y'all drop down in the comments what I'm finna say. What I was finna say. I'm gonna look. I thought it, you said it. I thought it, you said it. But on the other end, that Leo South Node could also be reflective of his career in the entertainment industry as an actor, whatever the case may be. But the issue with a lot of Leo South Nodes, I find, is that karmically in this lifetime, being famous is not really what they're supposed to do. They get find success a lot of times earlier in life, but as life goes on, these are people who can become controversial with that Aquarius North Node, or find their purpose or their destiny, I should say. Find their destiny. But maybe you could even say purpose, but destiny a lot of times could be tied up in things that have nothing to do with what got them famous. And until they finally grasp that concept, because they're supposed to be more so rooted for other people, or learning how to live life outside of what they already know, and that kind of surface level, I just want to be the attention getter. I just want to be the star. I want to be the celebrity. They have to learn how to live life beyond that, or even just beyond the scope of being liked or accepted. And sometimes that could mean just being in your truth, living in your truth. Aquarius deals with the LGBT. So, it's so many different ways that we can kind of dissect this in terms of what this means for him. He does have that Aquarius North Node forming a quincunx to his Mars in Virgo, which can make it very difficult for a person to when it comes to their sexuality, maybe understanding their sexual identity and, what that means for them and who they are and how they want to present. He also has his Neptune opposing that Jupiter at the 6th degree of Cancer. Now, this could deal with where his freedom could be in jeopardy. That definitely is I'm going to jail kind of aspect too, where something happens and you get locked up. He has his Venus at that 24th degree of Libra forming a semi-square to that Sagittarius moon, which can point towards him being just a hardcore ass player, where he's just very set in his ways when it comes to women. And he don't like just one type of woman. I get he could like different type of women or different type of people, and it just is what it is. I'm going to be real. From my vantage point, it doesn't seem like he was set up. It seems like this is just the type of person he is. And I wonder if he was under the influence, too, because he does have that Mercury-Neptune conjunction, or square, I should say, rather, which could be indicative of, somebody who could even get arrested for, DUI or something, or, get drunk and, kind of lose themselves. He also has Saturn conjoined to Neptune. That could also be another aspect that can put you in jail too. Or it could speed up your karmic turnaround time, where the minute you do some shit, especially if he was into stuff he ain't had no business doing, he going to jail. You're going to jail, pal. Oh yeah, and this is all kind of just brought together due to this T-square, this cardinal T-square. Cardinal T-squares a lot of times can be really huge indicators of a person who could be really violent or on edge or unpredictable in some sense. They're always doing something. And this T-square is occurring between his Jupiter and Chiron in Cancer, that Mercury at the 9th degree of Libra, which would be the apex point, and then his Saturn and Neptune and Capricorn. This gives this energy signature of somebody who, once again, usually likes to try to control themselves, but it's every now and then they can't help it. Mercury in, even Venus in Libra for that matter, they like to come across as very agreeable, very agreeable people, but it's just every now and then these people get so beside themselves that they just break the facade. And with his Mercury squaring Neptune, like I said, that could usually be if he's drunk or something, or under the influence, or, whatever the case may be, or just even with him being a Virgo, it's just hard to tell. The Virgos could just have wild hairs up their asses for, the most inconsequential reasons. He also has his asteroid Icarus conjoined to his Venus in Libra. And Icarus is one of those asteroids that could point to where we, once again, get really beside ourselves, where you could be overconfident, and it's usually to your detriment. Now, that could lead to him getting caught up with women or just getting caught up in relationships and shit like that, where he just, kind of overly relies on his relationships or just his ability to be with and hook up with women or partners or whatever the case may be. And that could get a person caught up, like where a person could be a cheater, but they may do some shit where it's like, you must have had a lot of audacity, like very reckless. And once again, these indicators are kind of interesting because it definitely supports a lot of those rumors that he and the girl in question were fighting over his phone, and, you know, she found out he was cheating and she took his phone, and then he went just bombastic on her. Not to mention the Mercury component, once again, also deals with phones. And then it could also deal with like cars, because I heard he did this in a car or something. So yeah, y'all drop down in the comment section, clear it up for me. If you know, you care to. He has his asteroid Apollo at the 5th degree of Virgo, running contraparallel to his Pluto. So that could be him also being just really controlling. And like I said, this is often to their own detriment, these people's own detriment. And they could definitely be violent and destructive because of it. And then you also consider a lot of this Neptune energy. The number 7 is ruled by Neptune. He's born on the 7th of September. Number 1, that could deal with him being an actor. But moreover, it could point to where a person can have issues. And I notice a lot of really good actors could have this problem where they have a hard time separating their roles from who they are as people. Let's just call that what it is. Because he does have his Neptune conjoined to Saturn. Now, on one hand, this is another actor aspect, but it could also deal with where a person can lose touch and lose grasp with reality. And then you consider the fact that his Neptune is squaring his Mercury too. So it's just like, maybe he's a method actor. I see this in the charts of method actors who have to like visualize themselves being this rough and tough and whatever person. Now, if he's been like this all of his life, you know, that's different. It's not really different because I can see why he would pick roles that, you know, play into like those fantasies that he could have about himself. But, you know, that's just a theory. That's a theory. I don't really know much about this man, you know, as a person, but just, you know, as an astrologer, just looking at his chart off top, this is just what's coming to me, right? But I definitely see like issues with substances and alcohol, or just, like I said, issues with control, issues with boundaries, issues. There's something that could be going on. Something in the buttermilk ain't clean, and I don't think the man is being set up. I think it's like a him thing. So y'all drop down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about Jonathon, what you think about his chart, and I will catch y'all in the next video. So make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. Bye.